Good morning, students. So, as you all know, that food is very important to us. It's important for our nutrition and energy, and it also helps in our overall growth and development. So, in today's class, we are going to study about nutrition and more specifically nutrition in plants. Okay. So, in this slide, we are going to cover what is nutrition and different modes of nutrition. So, what is nutrition? Nutrition is basically the process of intake of food and its utilization by the body. As you can also read here, the process of utilization of food by a living organism to obtain energy is known as nutrition. Plants are capable of making their own food themselves. They prepare their food by using raw materials like water, carbon dioxide, and minerals. Okay. So, based on different modes of nutrition, it can be divided into two major parts, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. So first, let's talk about heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic is combined of two different words, hetero and tropho. Here, hetero means different and hetero means others and tropho means nutrients. Same when we talk about autotrophic. So auto means self and tropho means nutrients. So talking about heterotrophic nutrition, this is the mode of nutrition where the organisms depend upon other organisms for their food source to obtain nutrition. Such nutrition where organisms obtain food from other organisms is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. For example, human beings, animals. Now let's talk about autotrophic nutrition. Such nutrition wherein the food is prepared by organism itself is known as autotrophic nutrition. तो इसका एग्जाम्पल क्या होगा? The example could be obviously plants. Why? Because plants prepare their own food through the process of photosynthesis. Now you can see here that heterotrophic nutrition is further divided into three categories, which is saprophytic, parasitic, and holozoic. Let's study each of them in detail. First, let's talk about photosynthesis, which is a part of autotrophic nutrition. So, photosynthesis is a process by which plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to create oxygen and energy in the form of sugar. So, if you see, there is a chemical equation given here in the slide. Carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of light and chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is very important for photosynthesis because it traps the sunlight. So here I've forgotten to mention chlorophyll, but you do remember that in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, most importantly chlorophyll, without this the process of photosynthesis will not occur. So when carbon dioxide and water react in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, they give out what? Sugar and oxygen. So this sums up for the process of photosynthesis. Now let's talk about the heterotrophic nutrition. So first we are going to talk about parasitic mode of nutrition. In parasitic mode of nutrition, plants depend on other animals or plants for their nourishment. Such dependent plants are known as parasites, and the ones on which the plants are depending are known as hosts. For example, tapeworms and leeches. So here the picture which I have shown is not of any animal, it's the example of plants which act as parasite. So here you can see that a different kind of plant is growing on a tree, a different tree. So the plant which is growing is known as a parasite, and the tree on which it is growing and feeding on its nutrients, is known as the host. And examples of animals could be tapeworms and leeches. Now let's talk about the insectivorous plants. The insectivorous mode of nutrition is observed in plants like pitcher plant and Venus flytrap. So these are the two examples of the plants which are insectivorous in nature. So insectivorous plants such as a Venus flytrap, what does this do? This is like it has a cavity or a mouth, you can say, and whenever an insect comes in its vicinity or around it, it opens its mouth, it traps the insect and then closes it back. So this is how it obtains nutrition, which also signifies that these kind of plants feed on insects for their nutrition. As it is written also, these type of plants purely depend on other insects and small animals for their nutrition. Next, moving to the symbiotic mode of nutrition. This is the only mode of nutrition in which both the parties get benefited. Like for example, nitrogen fixing bacteria and leguminous plants. So here what is happening? The nitrogen fixing bacteria is helping the plant to obtain nitrogen by fixing it to the roots. And same when the leguminous plants are preparing their food and transporting to other parts of the plant, they are also transporting it to the roots, through which the nitrogen fixing bacteria is taking its nutrition. So both the parties are getting benefited. Okay. So in this mode of nutrition, there is a close association between two different plants of different categories. In such type of association, both the plants are getting benefits. Both are getting benefited. Next is Holozoic mode of nutrition. Holozoic nutrition involves internal processes of digestion and digestion. Digestion, you all know, breaking down of complex components into simpler ones, and digestion means excretion, taking out of the waste materials. Okay. The process involves different steps such as ingestion, absorption, and assimilation. And the example could be protozoa and amoeba. Next, let's talk about the saprophytic mode of nutrition. This mode of nutrition, in which organisms or plants that obtain their nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter, is called saprophytic mode of nutrition. इसमें क्या होता है that the organisms feed on the dead and decaying matter. For example, mushrooms, they use the dead and decaying matter as a source of their nutrition. Examples are moulds, mushrooms, yeast, and some bacteria. Next is saprotrophs or saprophytes secrete digestive juices onto dead and decaying matter to dissolve it and then absorb nutrients from it. I've also provided a YouTube link from where you can access videos on nutrition plans for a better understanding. And further, I've attached two worksheets for you all to solve. Thank you.